Meanwhile, Parliament's Joint Ethics Committee says it will investigate the bribery allegations by Mkhwebane. The body has also accused 4 MPs, including Busisiwe Mkhwebane, Julius Malema, Violet Siwela and Mimi Gondwe, from adhering into the complaints. It says this is to ensure the process is fair, ethical and conducted with integrity. Meanwhile, Parliament spokesperson Moloto Motabo has not, or says he will not, comment at this stage on the allegations because of the ongoing investigations. He says doing so might be counterproductive and undermine efforts to uncover the truth. Let's get the view now of the IFP's member on the Section 194 inquiry looking into Advocate Mkhwebane's fitness to hold the office of the Public Protector of South Africa. Very good evening to you, ma'am. I'm grateful for your time. We spoke to you about a week or two ago when these allegations first surfaced. Now that we've heard what is part, according to Advocate Mkhwebane, of these recordings, are you convinced that she indeed was, A, subjected to an unfair and compromised process, and that there was an attempt from the ANC benches to get a bribe from her to make this go away?
Thank you, Mrototo. As the IFP, as you are saying, that we had this interview 2 weeks back, and we said, can it go to its processes, to due processes of Parliament, as you have mentioned, that there's a joint ethics committee that is taking care of this, and a case has been opened against the allegations of bribery and extortion. As the IFP, we still believe that it will have to come with hard evidence. It will be evidence that will tell us on what resolutions we are going to take as the inquiry and maybe the stance of the IFP. But currently, we have been furnished with the WhatsApp messages which do not, they do not show anything of the chairperson of the inquiry saying anything, whether to the husband of the suspended public protector or to any other member about bribery. So for the IFP, we believe that allegations are still allegations until the evidence is brought forward, that this is the hard evidence that the chairperson was actually involved in the bribery and extortion of the suspended public protector. But currently, we can't take any decision with the allegations that are put forward up until we get a report that will tell us that there is hard evidence that the chairperson was actually involved in this. With the matter of allegations, any member can be alleged to have done something. And it will be unfortunate for the committee to take a decision on allegations. But we believe that you are innocent until proven guilty, as it is the law of South Africa. And for now, up until we get that hard evidence, we are not going to base any conclusion of the chairperson or any member that is alleged and then say that they've asked for a bribery up until we get hard evidence.
When you say hard evidence, what would convince you that the chairperson of the inquiry, Kubutile Janki, was involved? Would you be looking, let's say, for messages from him? Would you want his recording, or a recording of his voice on tape, as what is purported to be that of Tina Joemat-Pettersson in the tape played out today, for instance?
I would want all evidence that is submitted to the Joint Ethics Committee, all evidence that is submitted to the police station or the officer that is investigating the case. And after they have done their investigation and they come back to us to tell us that this is the report and they have found evidence that the chairperson was involved or any member of the inquiry was involved, and also that the ethics committee will come back to say, yes, we have found hard evidence that, yes, the chairperson actually is found wanting with regards to the bribery and the extortion. But for now, we are only dealing with allegations that are taking their own process, because it's an ongoing investigation at the current moment. And we can't say there's an investigation on the other side, and on the other side, we are running a parallel committee that must take a decision, where else where it is reported, there is no decision and there's no report back of what is found in the report and in the evidence.
Okay, but at what point do the allegations at this stage become a threat to the work and credibility of this inquiry, this committee, considering that you yourselves as political parties are divided? There are those such as yourself and the ANC who are unconvinced at this stage that there's any truth that's been, or evidence at least, of an attempt to extort Advocate Mkhwebane and her husband, get money from them to make or influence the outcome of the inquiry. But you've also got the likes of the EFF and the UDM who believe that, in fact, the allegations alone mean that Kubutile Janji should go because his mere existence as part of the committee as its chair compromises the process.
I would shy away from using the word that we do not believe that there is evidence. We are not saying we don't believe that there is evidence. We are saying let the due process that the committees that they've reported to do their work, and after then they report to say, okay, with regards to the implications that the chairperson is alleged, and it is not only allegation, but it is proven as well that this is the evidence that the chairperson is found wanting with the allegations that are put forward. So for now, it will be premature for us to then take a decision. I mean, anyone can come and say, Honorable Majozi said I must speak on her behalf and request that you give this much money for something else to go away. But up until we get that evidence that actually implicates the Honorable Majozi in that in those allegations, we can't necessarily take a decision. Okay. If that was the case, many members of parliament would not be members of parliament today, because there are many that are alleged about anything or other thing. But that is not taken into up until there is hard evidence that is brought forward.
But if Advocate Mkhwebane then withdraws her participation in this process precisely because she does not trust it, she believes that its chair was involved basically in an attempt to extort a bribe from her, and that she has said this previously and even gone to court, believes that he's got an agenda against her, where does it leave your work? What can you do if she won't participate?
We will meet as the committee, and once we get that report to say the suspended public protector is not willing anymore to subject herself to the inquiry, and then we'll have to get further advice on legal, on how then do we proceed with the inquiry, because at the end of the day, there are time frames that were put that the inquiry must be done in such a time. And if that is not going to happen or take place, then as the committee, we must then get advice from legal, and legal must then tell us what is it that, how we should proceed from then, and take a decision from there. Because the objective of the inquiry was to assess the charges contained in the motion in order of to determine whether the suspended public protector is incompetent and or has misconducted herself. But with regards to her not subjecting herself to the inquiry or to the committee, that decision will be taken from there, and it will be taken by the whole committee, and with the legal advice that we will get from legal. Right. Because we cannot just take a decision, because it also involves legal, it also involves a lot of things. So we must consider that and make sure that everything has been considered and take what she would be submitted. But as the public protector, she knew that she is subjected to Parliament, because that is where she reports.
Zandile Majozi, member of the IFP and member of the Section 194 committee looking into Advocate Mkhwebane's fitness, told office. Thank you for your time tonight.